My no-bake lemon cheesecake without gelatin recipe is easy, quick, and delicious. With the help of a surprising ingredient, Lemonade Kool Aid, this pie comes together in just a few minutes and it's full of lemon flavor. It's super light and refreshing, so it would be the perfect dessert for a hot summer day, especially after a picnic. You will need one 9-inch graham cracker crust. You could use homemade like I did, or you could use a store-bought crust. For the filling, all you need is a few ingredients. One 8-ounce block of cream cheese softened, one 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice along with a 1/4 cup of lemon juice. I divided them for a reason. I'll get to that in a minute. 1 tablespoon of lemon zest, so the skin of the lemon. You will need probably about 3 large lemons of this size. 1 small packet of Lemonade Kool Aid. This is 0.23 ounces. 2 tablespoons of sugar and 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. The first step in this recipe is to dissolve the 2 tablespoons of sugar in the 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. I am doing this because I am going to add some extra sugar to this cheesecake. Like I said, this is a no-bake lemon cheesecake without gelatin. So in order to get the filling to firm up, I need to add a good amount of acid. In this case, lemon juice. However, lemon juice is really acidic, it's really tart, and if you add a lot of it, the pie might not be sweet enough for some people, so I'm going to add some extra sugar. However, you can't just add sugar to a cold liquid because it's probably not going to dissolve all the way. So I'm going to add some sugar to this lemon juice. I'm going to put this in the microwave for 30 seconds to dissolve it, and then I'll be able to add it to my filling. My sugar and lemon juice just came out of the microwave. It was in for 30 seconds, and as you can see, the sugar is now totally dissolved. This is kind of hot, so I'm going to put it off to the side for 5 minutes. And actually, when you make this recipe at home, you could do this, dissolve the sugar, and then get everything else together. That would be a better use of time, but I just wanted to show you all the ingredients at once. It's been 5 minutes. My lemon juice has cooled down, but I want to cool it down even more, so I'm just going to add it to the other lemon juice. Now it's a lot cooler. I can proceed with the recipe. Now I'm going to mix the cream cheese and the sweet condensed milk. Even though this cheesecake recipe is really easy, this is a point at which it could go wrong. When you combine dairy, make sure they are the same temperature, especially cream cheese, because cream cheese can curdle. It can form little balls if you combine it with something that is not of the same temperature. So just to be on the safe side, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix my cream cheese. So I have this on top of a warm stove. I'm just going to mix it, make sure it's all the same temperature. And then extremely cautiously, I am going to add, first I'm going to mix a sweetened condensed milk, as it was on top of the stove as well. Make sure it's all the same temperature. And little by little, I am going to mix it in. I think that is the best way. Little by little, so that I don't change the temperature too much. I just finished combining the sweetened condensed milk and the cream cheese. It looks good. So now for the lemon juice. And just like with the dairy, little by little, just to make sure that I don't change the temperature too quickly. The lemon juice is now mixed in, so now it's time for the Lemonade Kool Aid. If you do not have Lemonade Kool Aid, I'm sure you could use some sort of lemonade drink mix. If your lemonade drink mix is sweetened, you may not have to add the extra 2 tablespoons of sugar. So just keep that in mind. I'll mix that in a bit more in a minute. The 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt and the 1 tablespoon of lemon zest. If you don't feel like zesting 3 large lemons, then I recommend 1 teaspoon of lemon zest and 1 teaspoon of lemon extract. Now it's time to pour the cheesecake filling into the 9-inch graham cracker crust. Even though this is homemade and I did add some cinnamon to it earlier, I just sprinkled a little bit more cinnamon into it, maybe a 1/16 of a teaspoon, just a little bit, because I love cinnamon and lemon together. Like I said, just gonna pour it in, and as you can see, it is thickening up already, just perfect. Pour in the filling like this. I'll scrape it in a minute. Then just take your spoon, smooth it out, and once it is evenly distributed in the pie crust, chill in the refrigerator for at least 4 hours, if not overnight.
I let my cheesecake sit in the refrigerator overnight, so I was really curious as to how it turned out because, as you can see, it definitely looked really good. And when I took my first bite, I knew that my no-bake lemon cheesecake without gelatin recipe was a big success because it was absolutely delicious. What I liked most about this was that the flavors were really well balanced. Kool-Aid is unsweetened, so I was really glad that I added a little bit of extra sugar because I thought that this had the perfect balance of sweetness and tartness. And because the lemon flavor came from 3 sources, lemon zest, lemon juice, and Lemonade Kool Aid, the lemon flavor was definitely very strong. And even though this was definitely lemony, I could still taste the cream cheese in the background. So this was definitely a lemon cheesecake, not a lemon pie. So the final result definitely lived up to its name. The graham cracker crust was very nice as well, and as I always say, if you can, make your own, but if you use store-bought, that's okay. And if you use store-bought, I would highly suggest doing what I did and sprinkling a little bit of cinnamon in the crust before you pour in the filling, because I think a bit of cinnamon would help to make a store-bought crust taste more homemade. I really liked the appearance of this cheesecake as well. It was a light yellow color, probably mostly from the Kool-Aid, and it was nice to see little specks of lemon zest throughout the filling. Like I said earlier in the video, it can take a bit of time to zest all those lemons, but it's definitely worth it. And with this close-up, you can see the little bits of lemon zest sprinkled throughout the filling. Although I knew that my no-bake lemon cheesecake without gelatin recipe would turn out well in terms of both flavor and appearance, in all honesty, this actually turned out better than I was expecting. Because like I said, all the flavors that you would expect from the name of this recipe, sweetness, tartness, lemon, and cream cheese, were all equally balanced absolutely perfectly. Although this recipe is definitely easy because you don't have to worry about gelatin, there are a couple things to keep in mind. And the most important thing is to make sure that the 2 dairy ingredients, the sweetened condensed milk and the cream cheese, are the same temperature. If you're making this as a summer dessert, I don't think it's as big of an issue, but just in case, I would take both the sweetened condensed milk and the cream cheese out and put them on the counter in the same place so that they can come to the same temperature. And just as I did in the video, I recommend adding the ingredients together a little at a time so that you don't change the temperature too rapidly. Another thing to keep in mind is that although it might be tempting to use bottled lemon juice, I highly recommend that you use fresh because there's no comparison between fresh and bottled lemon juice. And even though it might be tempting, you definitely need to let this sit in the refrigerator for at least 4 hours so that the acidity in the Kool-Aid and the lemon juice can firm the filling up so that you can slice it and it will hold its shape. But those few things aside, this no-bake lemon cheesecake without gelatin recipe was easy and delicious. I do a lot of cooking, so it's inevitable that eventually I'm going to make something that's just mediocre. And if you watch my channel, you know I'm going to tell you the truth. This was not mediocre at all for something so easy and with so few ingredients. This is definitely absolutely fantastic. If you're looking for an easy, no-bake lemon cheesecake recipe for the summer, for a picnic, 4th of July, a barbecue, something like that, this is it. I have even more no-bake Kool-Aid pie recipes coming this summer, so stay tuned. As always, thanks for watching. See you next time.